Alright, before we start this week's episode, I just wanted to quickly jump on and say that I'm really sorry that this episode is coming out super late. It's been a big, busy weekend and I just haven't had time. And that's what happens when you're a part-time stay-at-home dad. Sometimes you just don't have time to do anything. But let's get into the episode, shall we?
Oh my gosh, Dad, stop, you're embarrassing me.
It's my PTS HD podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the My PTS HD Journey podcast. My name is Jaden, your resident part-time stay-at-home dad, coming once again live from underneath the blankets. I was looking at the analytics this week and saw that I'd reached out across the ditch and I now have a Kiwi listener. So a special Kia ora to you if you're listening to this episode. I do think that New Zealand has one of the best national anthems in the world. Maybe only behind Italy, which I believe doesn't have any lyrics in their national anthem. But this isn't a podcast about national anthems, it's about parenting. So let's kick things off like we normally do with a dad joke.
Dad, I'm tired.
I'm tired. I'm Dad. Got him! I was reminded this week of the first ever joke that I told, so I thought I would share it on this week's episode of the pod. So, knock knock.
Who's there?
Jaden.
Jaden who?
Jaden that cooks. So that's the joke that started all my other terrible jokes. But let's get into our high and whine. I got the extra opportunity to spoil my beautiful pregnant wife this week. Not because cricket season has finished and I now have too much spare time, but because it was her birthday on Friday. Did she end up choosing her own flowers? Yes. Did I mean for that to happen? No. But I unfortunately wasn't going to get the chance to get her flowers without her knowing the day before, so I let her choose her flowers. This doesn't normally happen before you go out and say that I shouldn't be doing that, which I know I shouldn't be doing that. I know I shouldn't be making her choose her own flowers. But that's just the way it's happened and it shouldn't happen again. I hope it doesn't happen again. Did she get as many flowers as our next door neighbour who turned 90 on the same day? No. Thank goodness for that. My whine this week is that cricket season has finished. Didn't make finals this year, which is a shame. But I now have nothing to do on the weekend, as my wife gives me a stare that I have gotten to love and appreciate since we've been together. I'm kidding, she didn't give me a stare because she's asleep, but I could feel it. I could sense it. It's like a sixth sense. Just tell. Even while her eyes are closed, she's giving me that stare. I feel it. Let's go to Dad Diaries. I have organised a birthday dinner for my wife this weekend with some friends and family. We're going to make pulled lamb sliders with coleslaw, which should be amazing and hopefully no one will get food poisoning from them. But I've also decided to make and decorate a cake for her instead of a Woolies mud cake. She loves the beach, so I'm going to attempt to do a cake that somewhat resembles a beach setting. Will it look as good as the beach cakes that are on my Pinterest board? Yes, because I don't have a Pinterest board. What? No. What about the ones from Google Images? No, it will not look as good as the ones that you see on Google Images. But will it be made with love? Yes, I guarantee that. Will there be tears, frustration, spatulas being thrown, and incoherent mumblings? Yes. Will alcohol be consumed whilst making said cake? Of course. How else do cakes get made? The reason this podcast is coming out late, which will hopefully only happen on special occasions, is so I can take you along the journey with me while I decorate the cake. It must include frustration and random thoughts I have. I'll try and record a visual component as well, but we'll come back. I haven't even started baking the cake and I'm already having issues. I've overestimated and put the cake mix into a tray that was too big. So now I've got to move it to a smaller tray. This could be a late night. It's 9 PM, the first cake is ready to be decorated. The only problem is I haven't thought about what I'm putting the cake on. This isn't good. I already stabbed some holes in some cardboard because I was frustrated it wasn't cutting properly. So I decided to wrap some foil around the biggest baking tray and using that. This could be a long night. Yes, the alcohol consumption has begun. Being sensible though, because this 250ml can's got 10% alcohol, so I won't be finishing that in a rush. Man, this is just another issue. I've lost the first cake, and I don't think I'm going to have enough for both cakes. The pre-mixed packet icing hasn't factored me cutting it in half. So I think I'm going to have to make some icing out of something and just hope I've got the ingredients, because I can't really DoorDash the ingredients. I mean, it's too late for that. Okay, I was able to make more icing. That problem solved. I've made another mistake. I cut the second cake and I lined it up next to the other one, and I even told myself that it wasn't ready to be iced. Well, you can guess what I did, can't you? I really need to get creative with how I'm going to put these pasta shells on the side of the cake. I think I'm just going to have to put icing on the outside of them and just stick them in. Yeah, let's just do that. I made the sand. Now I need to make the frame for a chair out of toothpicks. And toothpicks are hard to cut out. I'm only making one. Just one chair. This is going to take too long otherwise. The fish is done. Now I need to ice the water, make a fondant boat and dolphin fins. Making stuff out of fondant is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. This is ridiculous. Okay, now that the ocean's finished, I'm on the final step. I just need to make this lighthouse. The cake is finally done, and it's only just gone after midnight, so not as late as I thought it was going to be. the lighthouse, though, is just pure fondant. Like, I just got like half a slab of the fondant and looked at it and said, "You'll do." Cut it a little bit, and then I've just decorated it basically. Yeah, I mean the cake looks okay. The cake looks okay. It's not quite how I thought it would be, but I'm too tired to care now, so I'm off to bed. So there you go. That's just some of the things that happened while I was making the cake. I'll try and get a photo of the cake out on the socials. It turned out better than what I thought it would. Still doesn't look great, but it looks okay. It looks edible, so we'll take that as a win. All right, let's head into the dad wisdom.
One does not simply
go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
This week on Dad Wisdom, I've learnt recently that my 1-year-old is now at a stage where I can start doing experiments on him, or I have unintentionally been doing experiments on him for a while. I think that I might have done my own Pavlov dog's experiment, or working on refining it. If I open a packet of something to have a quick snack, I will suddenly hear him drop everything, locate me with his sonar, and then all of a sudden will be plucking out my leg hairs, begging me to feed him, even if he just ate. It's uncanny. It's showing interesting results. Another experiment is learning about Newton's laws of gravity and observing how it works when put into practice by watching my 1-year-old fall off the bed. Newton's gravitational law says any particle of matter in the universe attracts any other with a force, varying directly as a product of the masses and inversely as the square of the distance between them. I don't think Sir Isaac Newton had any kids because no. Newton's gravitational law says any particle of matter in the universe attracts any other with a force, varying directly as a product of the masses and inversely as the square of the distance between them. But I don't think Sir Isaac Newton had kids because in my experiment, Newton's gravitational law states any fibre of the ground in the universe attracts any child with a force varying directly as a product of being tied, inversely as the square of the distance between bed and floor. Coming up, it's Dad Hotline. This week's question comes from I Love Goats. My wife will soon be going to give birth with our first child. Is there anything I should avoid saying in the delivery room? Yes. Here are some examples of what to say and what you shouldn't say. Say, "You're doing great." Don't say, "Can you hurry up, please? I have a tea time at 12:30. Say, "You are strong. You can do anything. You are powerful." Don't say, you're a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, so I'm leaving. Say, the baby is so cute, it looks just like its mother. Don't say, ah! Last one. Say, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It must have been hard. Don't say, this can't be as painful as man flu. I hope that helps. I love goats, and I hope you don't get kicked out of the delivery room. Last but not least, the closing rant. Rant this week is very short. The new F1 cars suck. Case closed. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, please chuck us a follow wherever you get your podcasts. You can also leave a rating and review. There's also the Insta page, which the link is below. I hope you have a fantastic week. Tell someone about the pod and your favourite dad joke. Bye.
Marker and action.
Part-time stay-at-home dad. Once coming to you. Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the My PTSH journey. Oh, that is not the road. I was looking at the analytics this week, and I discovered that I've branched out across wrong lever cronk. Did she get as many Will there be tears, frustration, spatulas, and thrown and incoherent mumblings? Let's try that one again. Will there be tears, frustration, spatulas thrown? Ooh, let's not move the mic there. Try it again. Will there be tears, frustration, spatulas, and incoherent? Let's try it again. The reason this podcast is coming out late, I recently noticed.